Okay, so I have no idea why this woman, it appears that she did no work, no research, no background search or anything of that nature, just to prepare herself to talk about like the idea of what other songs have you listened to by this artist. That doesn't seem like a stretch. Like, oh, I never would have thought they would ask me that. That doesn't seem like, what are you doing? Like, you don't know who Future is. You don't know she's not an expert. She is not an expert. And it's going to be hard pickings for Simone to even bring this back on track.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. So this is the guy that's a stand-in for Doug Weinstein. Let's see what he does. That's interesting.
Good afternoon, Detective. My name's Jay Apt. I represent Mr. Kendrick.
How you doing?
Okay, let's go.
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
So I listened carefully to your testimony. When you were giving an answer answers about a photograph depicting Mr. Kendrick standing on the hood of a vehicle, you said you wanted to focus on, quote, the crime at hand and who committed it, correct?
I didn't say it was a crime. I said it was disrespect.
Okay. So you don't believe that my client was committing a crime?
If he didn't damage the vehicle, no.
Uh-huh. All right, great. And you didn't, you perceived that was an act of disrespect, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you question Mr. Kendrick or any of Mr. Kendrick's associates about him doing that?
I did not.
Did you question Mr. Rayshawn Bennett about that incident?
No, I didn't.
And to be clear for the jury, Rayshawn Bennett is the person who you believe owned that car, correct?
Correct.
He's also known as YFN Lucci, right?
Yes.
So you didn't question him about how he perceived it?
No. And
you didn't question any of Mr. Bennett's associates or friends about that incident?
I didn't, but Mr. Lucci spoke out on a pod with how he felt about that.
Okay. But you don't know you're assuming that it was gang related, correct?
I'm not assuming. I know what was going on when that happened.
You didn't question anyone involved, but you knew.
I didn't have to question. I knew that it was a gang beef going between YFN, Lucci and his crew, and also YSL and their crew.
When is the last time before that photograph that Mr. Bennett and Mr. Kendrick spoke in person? Do you know?
I think they ran into each other at Lennox, but that was just according to social media. But they actually talked about them running into each other or talking. Do
you know whether or not they ran into each other that day at the mall?
I think I saw something on social media saying that they did.
Is it possible that they made a bet that day and this was just someone winning a bet?
I don't know what was said.
You don't know, right? Because you didn't ask anyone, correct?
No, but the guy stood on the guy.
Let her finish her answer, and y'all are kind of talking over each other. So try not to do that. Thank you.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Sorry.
I don't know it, but I don't think they even made a bet because, like I said, it was a lot of animosity and tension between the two groups.
And you wouldn't know because you didn't bother to question any of them, right?
I didn't question them, no.
Yeah. So you don't know whether it was gang related or a bet or what the reason was or the intent was behind Mr. Kendrick standing on that vehicle. That's fair to say you don't know because you didn't question any of them.
I saw the reaction of Mr. Lucci when he was questioned about it.
Why not ask him? Why not go and ask him then?
I didn't have to ask him. I saw his reaction. He wasn't happy.
He didn't have to follow the evidence.
He wasn't happy.
Uh-huh. Oh, she going.
Is it possible he wasn't happy because he lost a bet and had nothing to do with gang activity?
That's not an evidence about
it is assuming facts. You don't know one way or another what the reason or intent was in my client's mind. Isn't that fair to say?
I don't know what his intent was, but he got a reaction out of Lucci.
You believe in the First Amendment, right?
I do.
You believe in people's right to free speech?
I do.
You believe in musicians' ability to create lyrics for art, right?
I do.
But you stated in your testimony that you think rap music that depicts violence is popular, but it shouldn't be.
I agree. It shouldn't be glorified.
And
I stand by that.
You also said that there are songs which have killed children in Atlanta. Which songs?
I don't know specific songs, but I know that it's music. The reason for the beef, as far as the Atlantic Station situation, they were going back and forth on social media with songs and disrespecting each other. Next thing you know, is gunplay and children are dead.
You're the expert, detective. Which songs? Which songs regarding rap violence caused the death of children?
I don't know the name of the songs, but I know that those particular kids were involved in music, talking about each other in the music. Then it's violence spawned because of the music.
Do you think you should be an expert on rap lyrics?
Argumentative.
Sustained.
I never said I was an expert on rap music.
Oh my God.
You said that.
No.
You understand that lyrics and even lyrics about violence can be used as art to depict, to be marketed and for commercial purposes without being factual, right? You agree with that?
I have heard of that and seen that, but
And that can be done in
it's
movies.
it's not a good thing. That's all I said.
Not a good thing.
Right.
You ever seen the movie The Untouchables with Robert De Niro?
He about to
Probably
kill.
not.
He about to lay her out.
Goodfellas?
Seen Goodfellas.
Okay. So do you think Robert De Niro should be charged with crimes because he depicts murder and violence?
We said that this morning.
What about Al
Do it-
Pacino?
if he was charged when he stepped off the movie set and he went and did the actual things that he did in the movie, then yes, he should be charged.
But you said in earlier testimony that if it's depicting previous actual acts of violence, then that should be a crime.
Like I said, if Robert De Niro left the movie set and went out and shot somebody like he did in the movie, then yes, he should be charged.
That's not what you said earlier. You said,
I would say argumentative, Your Honor.
okay.
Overruled.
Did you say earlier that someone who is rapping about a previous act of violence should be held responsible for that?
That's not what I said.
Okay.
I said that they put in the music or in the wording of the songs things that have happened, meaning whether it was a shooting, whether it was a drive-by, whether it was a smash and grab, whatever. I say that sometimes this can be a confession. Sometimes it can be taunting just to the other gang members or the ops or whatever.
So if it's taunting, then it should be criminalized. Is that your...
I didn't say that either.
Okay. So Bob Marley singing "I Shot the Sheriff" is okay too, right?
He shoot the sheriff in real life like that man did up in Kentucky, then yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Or if it's like the sheriff shot the judge.
You don't know much about Bob Marley's life, do you?
Oh my gosh.
Do with anything.
Listen, you understand that you've already testified that you have no concrete evidence that the lyrics that were played in this courtroom earlier are directly related to any actual criminal activity, right?
I didn't say it was connected to criminal activity.
You did.
You said that.
You said it killed kids.
Okay. So they're just art. They're just free speech then. We can agree on that?
It's free speech, but like I said, when you talk about a crime that actually happened and your group is the suspect, it's
what? It's what?
It's obvious that you were involved maybe in that crime.
It's obvious that you were involved if you're singing about it?
Could have been.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to object to the characterization of it's obvious that you were involved, maybe. And I'm going to object to Mr.
Overruled. What else?
It,
Hang on. To Mr. App's misstatement. Is that what you said?
This is painful.
Ask your question again.
Thank you, Your Honor. So what you're saying is if someone sings about an act of violence that previously occurred, then it's obvious that they were involved.
That is a misstatement. That wasn't.
Is
her
that what you're
testimony.
saying?
Not exactly. I'm saying that if crimes have been committed and then you go brag about it in a song, it's hard to defend that you didn't have anything to do with what you're pretty much confessing in a song.
Okay, and I guess that's my point. If Robert De Niro plays Al Capone, and he's playing Al Capone in a movie, is it then obvious that he's the one who's in the mafia? I don't understand. Why is it that singing about a previous crime that occurred somehow ties you to that crime? What evidence do you, and let me rephrase, what evidence do you have that either Mr. Kendrick or Mr. Williams actually committed the murder of Donovan Thomas?
I didn't give you any. I didn't tell you that I had evidence of that. Did I tell you that?
You testified.
Yes.
I testified that they killed Donovan Thomas.
You testified that it was obvious.
Got me mixed up. I didn't tell you that.
So it's not obvious that they're involved?
Objection, Your Honor, because I'm not sure where we're going to go, and so I want to.
Well, a minute ago.
Hang on and let me listen to her objection.
Can we approach her?
Yes.
I don't know. The Doug who laughs is not playing games. Woo. The Doug who laughs is giving her the business. My word. Oh, this is terrible. Yo, I look, I thought, no, I don't think it's Doug's evil twin. Look, somebody take her. Look, this guy is not playing games. Yo, I like Doug Weinstein, but Doug could take off tomorrow. I'm okay. If this guy can get up there and do it, look, he can. I like him. He is not playing games. His client, Doug's client, is in good hands today. My word. Okay. He is baking. I'm telling you, man. I'm not saying. I literally said Goodfellas today. We talked about Robert De Niro. And I didn't know which movie he was in. I thought he was in Godfather or Goodfellas. Y'all straighten me out on that. I ain't saying that they in the chat, but let's just go ahead and put anti-Doug in the chat. Because this is, oh my gosh. Yes, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is crazy. I like him a lot. I do like him. And I like Doug. I'm Team Doug, but the anti-Doug is getting, look, the anti-Doug is here. Ladies and gentlemen, he is in the building. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna affectionately call him the Doug that laughs. Shout out to anybody who knows what that reference is, by the way. Yeah, the fact that, okay, I thought it was bad that she didn't do any study research, but now the Doug that laughs is giving her pain. And you do understand, Brian Steele has not rested. Brian Steele said, can I have a moment? And then tapped in the Doug who laughs. So that means the Doug who laughs could get finished and Brian Steele could come back. So, oh my gosh. So that's, and then we had anybody else that could, of course, Shard or Matthews or anybody else that needs to come in. But yeah, I got this feeling. I got a theory. Brian got her, a little bit flustered, kind of got her a little bit discombobulated, a little bit confused, right? He taps in the Doug that laughs. The Doug that laughs don't care. He like, I don't care. I'm about to just bring the noise. Like, I'm just great. I'm just doing it. And he just fillets her. Then Brian comes back and she's already on 10 and Brian's just going to keep tagging her until the ref calls it out. And then he's going to probably turn around and still ask for a motion to exclude this expert because he's not an expert. She should just ask, can I just can I tap out? All right, here we go. We're back at it. Let's go. I like him. The Doug that laughs is look. What's up, Matthews? Oh, it's about to go south. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any way to fix this. I don't think they're going to be able to fix it.
All right, Detective, we just want to make sure that with regard to Mr. App's questioning, he's going to confine his questions to things that have to do with his client, Mr. Kendrick. And you should likewise confine your answers to things that have to do with his client right now while he's the one questioning, okay? And not talk about any of the other co-defendants on trial here. And things like a search warrant that got the results of which were suppressed. Don't even veer into territory like that. And I'm not going to go through all of the different possibilities, but just be mindful when you testify to be careful not to testify to anything that, as an experienced detective shouldn't be being talked about. Okay.
Type anti-Doug in the chat.
All right. Any other kind of parameter anybody wants to mention?
Well, Your Honor, and I guess I'm speaking to the detective as well. Detective. I represent Shannon Stillwell. I am not asking this question, and he is specifically asking about Mr. Kendrick. I would not anticipate that the answer would include pronouns such as they or things of that nature. And I would ask that anything be strictly limited to Mr. Kendrick.
I understand.
All right. Anybody else?
The Doug who laughs about to bring that noise.
Limit my questions relating only to Mr. Kendrick.
All right. Okay, I think we're ready to get the jury back. They may not be ready to come back, but.
Woo. It took you 3 hours to get them today, man. You better keep them because they ready to leave. My man is cooking. The anti-Doug is here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. They scrambling and scraping. They ducking under tables, looking at Babati hiding under the table. Man, what's going on? They in trouble, man. They are in trouble. This dude is now I heard him during the pre-motion for rap lyrics, but I didn't know he was cooking like this. He wasn't cooking like that then. Somebody unwrapping paper? What's going on? His crosses. He violated her. I'm sorry. They're waiting for the jury to get in. A juror probably ran away. They probably let him out and he ran away. My man he did not come to play games. Whatever Doug is paying him, he earning it today. Like, look, Deamonte, you getting representation today. Good gravy. Oh yeah, he is not playing. They writing his will. He over there on only DAs. He's on only DAs. Checking to see what options are available to him. Just stay over there praying. That's what they doing. They praying. Like, get gracious, man. The anti-Doug is ready. He's ready. No, shout out to Doug to have the right kind of stand in. My goodness. I guess I have to. It might be late though. It might be late.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Detective, you were saying that and I don't want to misquote you, but that if someone raps or sings about an act of violence that actually occurred, then it becomes obvious of what?
To me, it's bragging. Taunting or bragging.
And well, let me ask you this. Are you aware of whether Mr. Kendrick wrote any of those lyrics that were played in the courtroom earlier?
No, I'm not aware.
So you don't know if if my client was even involved in writing those lyrics.
I never said he did.
And you're not aware of Mr. Kendrick in any way, shape, or form being tied to or involved in the murder of Donovan Thomas. Isn't that true?
I know he was arrested and charged or a suspect for it.
Were his fingerprints found anywhere?
I didn't work the homicide portion of that. You would have to refer to.
You don't know. You don't know if his fingerprints.
I didn't get into the homicide investigation.
You don't know if his fingerprints were found on the Tahoe or any evidence in the case?
No.
You don't know if his DNA was found?
No.
You don't know if any ballistics were found that were tied to Mr. Kendrick, correct?
No.
In fact, you're not aware of any eyewitnesses who saw Mr. Kendrick commit that crime, correct?
I don't know of any.
And you went to great lengths to give an expert opinion about what the state refers to as exhibit, I believe, exhibit 535 YB, which is the song called Slime. And I apologize, I may be less genteel than Mr. Steele is, but it's a piece of evidence. The song's actual name is Slime Shit. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And you stated earlier, you don't know the date that song was released, right?
No, I only see the date that it was uploaded to YouTube, like I told Mr. Steele.
You don't know the date it was written?
I don't.
You don't know who wrote the lyrics?
I don't.
And so if that song, if I told you that track was released officially on September 16th of 2015, and that...
Sustained.
I'll withdraw the question. If, hypothetically, if those lyrics were released in 2014, before the murder of Donovan Thomas, then wouldn't it be fair to say that the Tahoe mentioned in the song had nothing to do with Mr. Thomas's murder, right?
That would be fair.
You're not suggesting that whoever wrote the lyrics was psychic and predicted the murder of Donovan Thomas, right?
I did not say that.
Okay. Thank you. I have no other questions.
All right, are there other defense attorneys with questions for this witness coming up?
Hey, I like the anti-Doug. Shout out to, Max Shard. Let's finish.
Good afternoon, former agent.
No, I'm actually a retired investigator, but I was a former task force officer.
Retired investigator. Okay, retired investigator Underwood. My name is Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell, okay?
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good.
All right, good. First of all, I just want to get one thing out of the way. Brief, and I know you were answering a question. You brought up some Atlantic Station incident. That has nothing to do with this case,
Oh,
correct?
no, it has nothing to do with this case.
Okay.
It was just referencing gang violence.
Okay, cool. You, in preparation, you knew you were going to be testifying eventually, and you provided a CV
I did.
to the state, correct?
I did. It's probably been a while though, because I might have updated it since I did my Daubert, maybe.
Okay. Yes, I understand. On Friday, when the state was asking about some of your background experiences, you were asked, have you received training on how gangs use music to promote violence?
Oh, no.
And you answered yes.
I have.
Okay. Could you tell me the name of that class and who taught it and when that occurred?
I have attended like the Georgia gang investigation association training where, and I can't remember the name of the individual. I know Marissa Viverito has taught one at APD, but when I went to the GGIA one, I can't remember the name of the instructor, but I've had like at least 2 or 3 classes.
So Marissa Viverito is someone who worked for the DA's office in Fulton County, correct?
She used to.
And and she's also worked for the state of Georgia, correct?
Yes.
And you know her to be on the witness list for this case, correct? Okay, so she taught that class.
She taught one of them.
Okay.
I've been to more than one.
Well, who specifically talked about how gangs use music? What individual, what professor, or was it an artist that talked about that? Who was it?
It wasn't a professor, it was law enforcement.
Oh, law enforcement. And who was the law enforcement?
The one that I do remember recently was Marissa. She taught one at APD.
All right, Marissa Viverito, who used to work for the DA's office. Okay. So there was no one from the music industry, no artists or anything there. Okay.
No.
How gangs, you were asked if you had training in how gangs use music to promote fear in other gangs. Again, who were the musicians or anyone that spoke to you about that?
No musicians.
Okay.
The classes that I've taken have been all from law enforcement when it came to gangs. My other classes at Columbia Southern were professors, but they didn't talk about gangs. Okay.
And how gangs use music to promote fear in other gangs. What date was that? Who taught you about that?
I told you what class. I don't remember the instructor on one of them, but I do. Like I said, the most recent one at APD within the last 3 years, it might have been while she was still here. She taught that one. That's the one that stands out. But I did go to one down in South Fulton as well, but it was like a GGIA training.
You were asked how gangs use. You were asked about your training or education and how gangs use music to promote cohesiveness. Who taught that class? Is that the same answer?
It would be the same. Yes.
Okay, so no one from the music industry, and it seems like
every class was law enforcement.
And the one that you're speaking of is Investigator Viverito, who's on the state's witness list for this case.
That's one of them.
Okay. And the same answer would be for your experience when the state asked you how gang members use music to send messages to rival gangs. Would those be your same answers?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then you were asked by the state here, among other things, to talk about lyrics in this case, and you've been speaking about specific lyrics.
Yes.
Okay. In that Bad Boy video, you didn't recognize the other artist?
Oh,
No,
man.
I don't know who that is.
You ever hear Juice WRLD?
I knew that.
But I don't. That's not anybody that came on the radar because he haven't probably committed a crime here in Atlanta.
Okay. So as I understand it, in preparation of this testimony, and correct me if I get the timing wrong, sometime last week, the state gave you some music videos to review or some songs to review.
Yes.
Okay. How many?
The 3.
Okay. It was just those 3.
Just these 3.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And they were all songs by Jeffrey Williams.
Yes.
Okay. Did they not ask you to review a song called Homicide, written and performed by Lil Woody featuring Fagiano?
Never heard of it. No.
Have you ever
Oh my gosh.
watched that video?
Oh my
I
gosh.
haven't.
Okay. Are you aware of this song?
No.
You aware that in that music video, in that song, Woody talks about putting money on someone else's head?
Yes.
Not aware.
Are you aware that
Oh
the
my
person he
gosh.
talks about putting money on their head is a heavy-set African-American male?
Not aware of that.
Are you aware that the person he conspires with in that video to kill the heavy-set African-American male is Trevante Turner?
And I'm saying objection vague as to, are you talking about what happened in the video?
Yes.
This video, and so
I haven't seen the video.
Okay, so you're not aware that Trevante Turner played the
Correct.
role of the hitman in Woody's video where
Oh my
I
gosh.
haven't seen that
he
video.
depicts killing a heavyset African-American male. Okay.
Wow.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right, are there any other defense counsel
Y'all.
questions?
No.
All right, is there redirect?
He just violated her. That was terrible. Wow.
Yo, hit that like for deal with Christian. Yo, for deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for deal with Christian. For deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for deal with Christian.